rearranges values in an unhealthy way inside of us, then as our internal energy flows over itself repeatedly, it's like a circle, and the energy is just going around this circle. As it goes over the scar tissue, so to speak, it feels bad. And so we feel bad, and so we do things to make ourselves feel good. And often those things are compensating things, like alcohol or drugs. And the more we practice anything, the better we get at it, good or bad. So as this energy flows over you, you feel bad, so you go do something that makes you feel good. And then next time around, the energy flows over you, makes you go do another bad thing. And then before you know it, you can be destroying your life like I was before the Olympic trials, just trying to stay happy. And so I want to share with you one of the most important teachings that came my way when I was researching how to become a healthier person again. And that is the practice of alchemy. And alchemy is an ancient technique of transforming a base metal or something that's not valuable into something valuable. And it's kind of like an old wizard or an old chemist, and he's got a beaker, and it's filled with a mystery fluid, and he puts a piece of lead in there, and then he does all kinds of things to this fluid, which changes the lead into gold. And there's this idea of changing something of non-value into something of value. And ultimately, to sum up the value in the knowledge of alchemy, is that it's not about changing lead into gold. It's about changing lead into the next closest thing to gold, and then changing that into the next closest thing to gold. And there's, by degrees, they call it. And so after so many of these changes, that lead just becomes gold. And often in our healing journey, we see the lead and we see the gold. And if we are the lead, or our life is at a point which would be the lead, and we look at the gold, and we know what we have to do to get there, it's too much. We get overwhelmed. And the shame hits us, and the guilt hits us, and all these, and the life changes hit us. So it's really, really important to just focus on the task at hand and the little things that will contribute overall to our ultimate success and health. That's why I preach as often as I can the benefits of deep breathing. We talk about the little things that add up. Well, if every single breath that you take put you in your best peak capability, every day, every second, every breath put you in your best case scenario, then every day would be the best case scenario. And then every year would be the best case scenario. And this would just go on and on and on. So I encourage everyone to do those deep breaths. Find a place of stillness and silence within you, and you will be guided. It's also important for me to express the fact that when I was in a place of absolute chaos, I was unhappy again. And I recognized, I said, man, this was before I came forward publicly. I said, man, I really thought that I was working towards happiness. But here I am again, unhappy. I must not know the difference between right or wrong, if here I am, stuck in this loop. So I stopped everything and I prayed. I said, Creator, guardian angels, universe, whatever is out there, if you're out there, please help me. I am open to guidance. And whatever you guide me with, turn the volume up so loud that I cannot ignore it, because I need your help. And that day, I was searching YouTube, topics like the Great Pyramids and Machu Picchu and these ancient stone monolithic structures that are so mysterious because we couldn't even build them today. I was wondering who built these, and everywhere on every single building is this image called the flower of life, which is right here. And the flower of life is a symbol that comes from sacred geometry. So naturally, I just started studying it. And sacred geometry has been a healer for me in more ways than just the fact that it's a beautiful language that uses symbols instead of words. And words actually represent symbols. That's what we use. I mean, words are symbols. The letter A is a symbol for a sound, and a shape like a heart is a symbol for love. So these symbols which are used are the primary, the most simple of the shapes and symbols out there. And by understanding the fundamentals to an expert level, we can understand the expert level of everything. So sacred geometry was a real key component to my healing. I heard that if you want sacred geometry to affect your life in a beautiful way, you have to do the sacred geometry. You got to draw it yourself. So I went to Staples. I got a geometry set for about $5. I got a stack of printer paper for about $5, and I was in and out of there for $10. And that $10 has changed my life. Like, look, you can see my room is covered with sacred geometry. I'm constantly doing it all the time. And the elements, the prayer that I talk about in another video is another healing topic. So when I was overwhelmed with addictions, in order for me to put down my addictions and not pick them back up again, I had to have something else to pick up. So with that geometry set and that printer paper, I was able to make some shapes on a piece of paper, color them in, and create something beautiful. And I was like, oh wow, this feels really good. And I'm not gambling and blowing all my money away, or drinking, or doing drugs, doing all these things that were essentially not good for me. So anybody who's looking to heal, I encourage you to pick up a healthy pastime. Create a healthy habit for yourself. Even something as simple as walking in the park can be really, really beneficial. At this point, I don't know if there's much more that I can say about this process of sexual abuse and coming forward. If anybody has any questions, please post them in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you are not okay with posting them online, part of me wants to say that's too bad. You got to deal with this one way or another. And YouTube's pretty, it's not really too public. Nobody's really going to be able to talk to you about it. But ultimately, you're more than welcome to email me. The email is wegadesk@gmail.com. And I really hope that this is helpful to anybody at all. And if you have any questions, like I say, don't be afraid to ask. I love you guys lots. And most importantly, I want you to know that I'm doing very well. Alchemy, the transformation of alchemy. Not only have I transformed my negative life into a positive life, but that experience of being sexually abused, once I had come to a place where I had learned to control my emotions, then I could go back into the memory of the experience and not be overwhelmed with emotions, with negative emotions. I was able to control myself and be there as an observer and gather information about it and see what was valuable about it. What was it teaching me? And at the end of the day, the very first time that I was raped was, I was in a place doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. I was a national team athlete. I was a specimen of physical perfection. And here I was cramming alcohol in my body. Like, no doubt I hit a brick wall at that point. Had I never picked up another drink from that point forward, I would have ultimately saved myself a lot of suffering. But I needed to suffer to learn about that suffering to stay away from it. So being able to go back into our traumatic experiences by using breathing to connect us to the present in a good way, we can go back into those experiences, extract the valuable information from them, and thus the experience goes from being a complete arbitrary enforcement of negativity to an experience that brings us value of knowledge of how to not let those things happen to us. And we can share this knowledge with others. And that is so valuable in itself that when I look back on my experience and actually on my entire life, it has caused me to change my understanding of this world from a world that has good and bad to a world that has only good and better, where good is replaced by better and bad is replaced by good. But it takes time and it takes effort and it takes good faith too. Having a good connection with a good spirit, a good God, is very helpful. Whether or not you believe in God, because I certainly didn't when I was in the depths of my healing. I said, there's no way there's a God. How could a God allow this shitty stuff to happen to me? But what if the only way to give you such valuable information was in the form of a negative experience? And ultimately, if it leads to a benefit, then that's a good gift from God one way or another. So that's a really great way to close. I'd like to thank the Creator for the strength that I've had, for my family and friends and support, and for the internet, man. Thank you. I know there's a lot of censoring stuff going on YouTube, but hey, it's their company, man. They can do what they like. And if you're ever experiencing negativity in life, it's likely because you're doing something wrong and the Creator is trying to express something to you. So I'm going to close it down for now. Thank you all for listening. Bless you lots. Love you lots. And enjoy life. And don't forget to deep breathe. Bye.